Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee with a Counselor. Today we'll be discussing course selection for the 2026-2027 school year. We have a few brief updates for course selection next year, and then we'll open it up to questions and answers the rest of the time. This URL is the link that you can get to the questions and answers. If you have questions, please don't type them in the chat. We want you to use this URL. So a couple of things for the upcoming school year. All of your students should have came home with a document that kind of looks like this. It's in different colors, blue, orange, and yellow. On this sheet, it has the available courses that your student should be taking that year and some additional elective options if they have completed the other subjects. So one thing is all students in all grades must have at least 5 in-person classes. They can choose to have one online class with that and one flex, or your student can have 5 in-person classes and 2 online classes. Each grade has access to one flex. The only students that can have up to 2 are seniors. So seniors can have 5 in-person classes with 2 flexes, or they can also have the 5 in-person classes with 1 flex and 1 OC. For next year, we will not be offering any online version to AP courses anymore. And then there will be no course changes for next year. So it's really important that your students make a mindful decision on the courses that they want for next year, because we do take those courses that they are selecting to hire for the next school year. So there will not be any course changes like there have been in the past. So when students come to walk through registration to pick up their schedules, they will not have the opportunity to request any changes for the year. The course request window will close this Wednesday, the 28th, so students have until then to make any changes within their course selection. If your student is interested in NCAA, please have them reach out to their counselors to make sure that they are following those NCAA eligibility requirements. And then for Mountain House High School, counselors recommend no more than 2 AP and honors courses, just because sometimes students could get overwhelmed and then they might want a schedule change in the middle of the semester, and we are not offering schedule changes. So students are welcome to take as many AP and honors courses that they want. Just make sure that they know they can handle those courses, because there won't be any opportunity for switching changes to that schedule. And then for course selection, for more information, if you go to counseling, our counseling tab on the Mountain House High School page, and you go to course selection, on the right-hand side, there is a bunch of resources for every grade: incoming 9th grade, incoming 10th, incoming 11th, incoming 12th. And on that, there will be a recorded video on course selection and how to input those courses. We also have a link to our course catalog. So if you're wanting more information about the description of the course, we suggest that you go to the course catalog, because that will be the way that you'll get the most information about those courses. We also have the anticipated course list, which you can see what courses that we'll be offering next year. We also have a link to the 4-year planning sheet, which students can use to plan out their 4 years here, and a bunch of different information on our website. So this is where you'll find the most helpful resources in this process. So now we'll open it up to questions and answers. If you guys have any questions, please use the URL and we will go and answer any questions you may have. Okay, so we don't have like much more to present besides those brief overviews. So this time is for you guys to ask any questions that you have regarding course selection. We have not been able to meet with students individually or parents individually for course selection. So this is the time for all of the Mountain House High School student families to ask any questions that you might have. Okay, so for the culinary pathway, do we need to take catering for the third year? So for next year, you have the option of taking catering or baking for the third year. And then what happens if the selected life science primary course is not available? Is it guaranteed to get alt course? So every student will get biology or living earth. If you choose um, the online version, they're two different course titles, but biology, all students will have biology for ninth grade.
In ninth grade, if your student does not select biology or biology honors, they might be interested in the biomed program. So they would select principles of biomed honors. So in ninth grade, either one of those courses fulfills the life science credit: biology, biology honors, living earth, which is online, or the principles of biomed, which is the first level in the biomed pathway.
Okay. The next question is early college program the same as dual enrollment with the community college? So the early college program is separate. The early college program, there is a series of different courses that you have to take in order to remain in the program and to get your associate's degree after. With dual enrollment, you'll be taking classes at your own pace and at your own liking. So you don't have to take every course that the early college program and those students take. You'll take the courses that you want to take or the courses that we offer on the articulation matrix that's on our webpage. What are the chances of getting the same pathway in 10th grade if they have engineering pathway in current ninth grade? So if your student is already in the pathway, then they'll get the second course in that pathway. My daughter will be in junior year, August 2026, also doing early college education. Is it only one flex allowed if they don't have enough number of courses to select? Mrs. Lamy, do you want to answer that question?
Yes. So juniors and seniors doing the early college program, where they're in the cohort program, not dual enrollment, um, can take up to 3 flex periods in their junior and senior year.
Okay, so the next question is, will the seniors given priority on choosing biology since my child missed in earlier grades? So if your student took principles of biomed in their ninth grade year, then they don't have to take biology. That counts for biology. Next question is, would there be possibility to take biomed pathway in digital arts as digital arts, not PLTW, as per described? Suppose if kids are taking outside language course other than provided by MHHS. So yes, students can take the biomed pathway and digital arts. And then students that are taking language courses outside of the school, as long as they're taking um, a language that's offered by an approved principal certified institution, or if they're taking a language that's not offered by the high school, so Spanish, Chinese, and French are courses that students cannot take outside of the high school. So if they're taking something other than that, like American Sign Language or something like that, then yes, we would articulate it onto the Mountain House transcript. Do I need to be in culinary for 2 years straight to qualify for a pathway? If yes, is there credit recovery to bring up lower grade from freshman, sophomore? So we do not offer credit recovery for courses that aren't core courses. So we don't offer credit recovery for pathways or language anymore. Next question is, my son is an incoming freshman. Hold on. My son, incoming freshman, has chosen Principles of Biomed and alternate as bio honors along with Math 2 honors. Question 1. Will this option cover the first freshman year science class for physics and chemistry too? This is for life science. They will have to take 2 years of physical science in upcoming years. And what are DE and ECP difference and deadlines for any submission? So I answered that question about the difference between dual enrollment and early college program. So I'm not going to answer that again.
Just as a reminder for all incoming ninth graders, I sent out information in regards to an early college presentation. So if you're trying to learn the differences between dual enrollment and early college, we won't be taking too many questions about that in this presentation because these are for course requests. Please come to the February 2nd presentation and learn all about the differences.
Thank you, Mrs. Salmi. So the next question, if the student is in accelerated math in 8th grade, do we still have to submit the petition for honors? So if the student is in accelerated 8th grade, so they're taking math 1 now, then they can send their counselor a request to add math 2 or math 2 honors within their course request. And we did tell students that in our presentations. Next question, my son joined in semester 2, 9th grade. What happens for courses that are grade 9 only? Global studies, for an example, can they be taken up later? So if your student came to us after the first semester and they took health but not global studies, then that course should be waived. And then those credits will then be rolled over into elective credits. So instead of the 5 credits for global studies, that will be waived, but those 5 credits will go over into electives. Next question. I see government, economics, adulting, etc. When are these applicable for all pathways? Do all students do this? My child is in 9th grade. So students will take government, econ, and adulting their senior year. My kid will be in 10th grade, fall 2026. If kid chosen the course with no alternative and this course was not assigned and does kid get opportunity to take any other course after January 28th? We told all students to choose alternates. So if your student does not choose an alternate, then they'll be given a course that is open or free. And if they don't like that course, then they're still stuck in that course because we have told all students to choose at least 1 to 2. They can choose more alternates um, so that we don't give any student a course that they don't want to be in. It is very important to choose alternates for every elective. My child wants to take Math 2 honors and English honors. What impact does not taking bio honors have on their scores, grades overall? So students taking honors courses, they'll get a GPA boost, but we don't want students overloading themselves, especially incoming ninth graders. Transitioning from 8th grade to ninth grade is very different. So we want them to take courses that they feel like they can handle. I read that UC is given extra point for each semester of a UC honors level course. Is bio honors a UC level course? How do we find out which courses are UC honor levels? So bio honors, English 9 honors are courses that Mountain House High School identifies as honors courses, so students will get that GPA boost, although they're not identified as honors at the UC level. You can find information like that on UC Doorways. UC Doorways has information about what courses do count for honors at the high school level. So UC Doorways link has been posted in the chat. Okay, my daughter will be in 10th grade in 2026, August. Can she take AP Computer Science Principles and AP Cybersecurity together? So this is something that we're still determining. The computer science department and admin are working together to decide which courses are going to count for what. So right now, I think AP Cybersecurity is a course that they take their 11th grade year, although that is still being determined. For an incoming junior who is the computer science pathway, can he take his first year course in biomedical pathway in 11th grade to explore this area? I understand that he cannot complete the pathway. So if he's currently in the computer science pathway, no, he cannot also be in the biomedical pathway. And we do not allow students to start a pathway in 11th grade. My daughter would like to choose biomed and pursue concert choir and Spanish as 6th and 7th course. Is this allowed? Yes. My daughter is an incoming 9th grader, and we are enrolling her next week. So for enrolling in articulated courses at Delta, does she need to wait for her enrollment in LUSD, and then the principal counselor will authorize her to register at Delta? So students that are in 8th grade right now going into 9th grade, students have to wait until they are an actual Mountain House High School student. So fall of 2026 is when they can start enrolling in Delta courses, but they cannot take Delta courses in the summer to count for MHHS. Second question is business analyst alternate pathway to biomed. They can choose the business pathway as an alternate to biomed. They can also take it at the same time. Okay. Is freshman leadership an elective that can be chosen by incoming 9th graders? So leadership is an elective that can be chosen by incoming 9th grader, but it needs to be their primary selection. We don't allow leadership as an alternate because there is an interview process and it needs to be entered as the primary. Next question. Can my child take the engineering pathway and select business intro as their elective? Yes. Seal of biliteracy after 3 years of Spanish. Students have to take all 4 years to get the seal of biliteracy. If yes, then if they take Spanish 1 in 10th grade, will they be able to get A through G fulfillment for graduation? Will they still be able to qualify for the biliteracy seal after 3 years of Spanish? So for A through G requirements, it is 2 years are required for a language, 3 years are recommended. So that is not for graduation, that is for college eligibility. And then they cannot get the biliteracy, the seal of biliteracy after 3 years. It has to be 4 years of the language. If an incoming freshman takes early college for a semester and then wants to discontinue, what will happen? They are able to discontinue after the semester if they are not interested in the early college program anymore. The student can just talk to the early college coordinator and she can drop them from the program. If continuing in the same pathway, CS pathway, is it required to give an alternate? Typically, no. If they're already in the pathway, then they should get their second course, third course. In freshman year, if my kid wants to take bio honors and later wants to step down to biology, is that possible? So at this time, we're saying no. Administration hires teachers based off your student's course selection. So our population of students is growing so much that we don't have room to move students around. So we suggest that students sign up for what they feel like they can handle because they will be stuck in that course for the year. Next question. Do you automatically get a I'm assuming this is GPA boost in AP course if you don't take the AP exam? So yes, students will get a GPA boost for AP courses. If the student wants college credit for that course, that's where the AP exam comes in at to get the college credit. Next question. For an incoming ninth grader, if Spanish 1, 2, 3 is taken for grades 9, 10, 11, can he take AP exam without doing AP Spanish in 12th? So students can self-study for AP exams. Your student would need to reach out to Mr. Nunn regarding that. Also wanted to know how he can complete 1 year of VAPA as an elective if planning to take all 4 years of Spanish. So students should still have room in their schedule as students graduate to other grades. They have more room for elective courses, so they should have the room to do their Spanish as well as their visual and performing arts. Next question. My kid is in CS pathway and he wants to take AP computer science in 10th grade. Do we still have to choose an alternate for this? I already answered that question. If they're already in the pathway, then they're good. The other elective we see is AP cybersecurity, but if AP cyber is assigned in 10th grade, then can he be eligible to finish the capstone in 12th grade? Appreciate your suggestion. So right now, they're still trying to determine where AP cybersecurity is going to fall, whether they can take it in 10th grade or it will just be an 11th grade option. You will find that information on our CTE pathways document. Once that is finalized, it will be on our website. Okay, I do see that there are some questions that are in the chat. Please use the URL to ask any questions. Okay, my kid is in CS Pathway and will be in 10th grade for fall 2026. He wants to look for business as a secondary option. We see only intro to business is eligible for 10th graders. Is there an option to do another business course as well in 10th grade along with intro to business? So students have to take the intro to business before they can move on to anything. So for business, if they start with the intro to business their 10th grade year, then the 11th grade year, they'll take intermediate business or the school-based enterprise and TechCom 1 concurrently. So they can still complete the pathway in 10th grade, but they do have to start with that intro class. Next question. Based on your experience, is taking flex periods considered a disadvantage for juniors and seniors, especially if they have early college cohorts limiting their optimal course choices? So, Mountain House High School makes it to where students can take one flex each year and still graduate and be 4-year eligible. So it's not really a disadvantage. The students can also utilize this if they're taking a bunch of AP and honors courses or if they're in early college to kind of catch up on the stuff that they need to do. Next question is, for automatic CSU enrollment new law for qualified students based on GPA, will counselors work with students on transition? I'm confused by your question. Students still do have to apply to the CSU and fill out that application, and we will submit documents based on their behalf. But students still have to fill out the application on their end, and they still have to meet the A through G requirements. Okay, next question is question 1. If a student does not get their desired pathway in freshman year, will they still be eligible for the capstone if they start their sophomore year? So yes, the different pathways have different requirements on when they will take that additional course. So for like computer science in 11th grade year, they'll double up. For engineering, they'll double up in 10th grade. And for biomed, they'll double up in 12th grade to complete a pathway. The next question is, if yes, would they need to complete the freshman year course along with the sophomore year course? So they're going to complete all the courses. It will just be a different mapping for each course path or each pathway. How many years of credits are given in college if early college is done, typically in CSU? So if a student is in the early college program, then they will complete an associate's degree, and that is 60 units. Kid will be in 10th grade this fall and in CS pathway. Can kid be allowed to take both AP computer science and AP psychology in 10th grade? Does psychology help in any way in his pathway? So the computer science pathway, yes, they'll take AP computer science. They can take AP psychology in 10th grade. They can put it in their course requests, although that is a really popular class, and seniors get priority, then juniors, then sophomore, then freshmen. So they can definitely put it in their course request. I'm not sure if AP psychology will help the computer science pathway, but I think psychology is something that is good for anyone to have that type of knowledge. But that is coming from me, and I'm a counselor, so psychology is important. Let's see. Will the student be allowed to graduate out of high school earlier if all requirements are met? So we have certain requirements that are 12th grade requirements that are only offered to 12th grade students. So that student will have to make a plan with their counselor if that's something that they're interested in, but I'm not sure how we would go about offering a 12th grade class to an underclassman. That's an individual question that your student or you might want to reach out to the counselor about. Next question, is the minimum grade for a pathway a B every year to receive pathway certificate and cord? So in our course catalog, it will tell you the prerequisite for each course, and if that course has a required minimum grade, it will be in the course description in our course catalog. Next question, is alternate course selection applicable only to electives? Yes. And then there are questions that are being asked in the chat. We request that you use the tiny URL. We're not answering any questions that are put in the chat.
We are getting a ton of questions in the chat, especially related to Delta College. We are not Delta College counselors, so if you have a specific question about a Delta class and how that translates to UCs or CSUs, that would be for a Delta College counselor.
yes, then can she choose digital arts as an alternative, or will digital arts be considered as her elective pathway as she wants to do engineering as elective and not digital arts? So if your student chooses Spanish 1 as her language and she's requesting that class, she does need an alternate for it. She can choose digital arts as an alternate for Spanish. Another question is, can student reach out to you to discuss case-by-case basis again? So in regards to course requests, students can always email us and get their questions answered. In regards to the course requests in that window, that's going to close on the 28th. So if they're going to have questions case-by-case basis wise, I would recommend that they email us as soon as possible so that we can get to it. We are pretty busy during the scheduling time. So that's why I just say as soon as possible so that we know that we get to that email and we can answer their questions. Once we have our appointment form open after this scheduling season and all of the things that we're doing in this month, we will open that up and they can schedule appointments through that appointment form.
We did go around to all of the classes, to all English classes. So students did have the opportunity to talk to a counselor if they had questions about their individual schedules.
We've also had success sessions. So if students have, like all last week, we had success sessions that students were allowed to go to as well and had that opportunity. So we have those sessions so that if they have questions and they want to talk to us in person, they've had that opportunity as well. But yes.
Okay, so the next question is, my child did AP Computer Science from outside of MHHS. Does it cover credits GPA towards college admission? So that's something that we wouldn't articulate onto our transcript. But if the student is applying to the UC CSU systems, he or they will self-report. And so they could add that to their application, although it will not show on our transcript. So my child is taking the computer science pathway and would also like to continue band for all 4 years. So the student would choose these as their electives. I don't know what the question was for that. And then, can he take ASL through Delta College instead? If so, how many semesters would this require? So if they wanted to take ASL through Delta, they can. 1 semester of ASL is considered 1 year of the language. They need 2 years of language for A through G requirement. 3 years are recommended. Next question. If kid in swim team, can he skip second year of PE? So if your kid participates in 3 seasons of a sport, then yes, the student can fill out a PE waiver and skip their second year of PE.
The next question we have is, my child requested for Spanish 1 for freshman year. Choosing digital art as an elective / flex is preferable, or choosing it as an elective for Spanish 1? I don't know if I'm understanding this correctly. So if your child chooses Spanish 1 and requests that course, they can put digital arts or flex as an alternate for Spanish 1. It's just if they choose a flex as a normal class, they're 100% going to get that flex for a primary class. If they choose it as an alternate, then they get that as the alternate. There's not any extra alternate that they need to choose if they put flex in as an alternate. But I don't know if I'm understanding the question correctly.
Our next question is, my son is an incoming freshman considering the early college pathway. The website says to apply by March 1st. Is that correct? So if your student is interested in early college, please plan on attending the early college meeting on February 2nd. It will be virtual. Information was already sent out. All information about how to apply and the deadlines will be shared at that meeting. The next question is, my daughter selected Principles of Biomed Sciences for primary pathway with computer science as an alternate. She's considering Intro to Health Science as another alternate. That didn't really have a question in there, but if the question is, can she do that? Yes, she can use the Intro to Health Science class as an alternate. That would work.
The next question is, my child was in 10th grade school badminton team for 1 semester. Does it cover for GPA/college credits? No. So what will count is basically what's on the transcripts that they have. So outside sports or sports here aren't necessarily for GPA or college credits.
Our next question is biomed considered an honors course? So the first level in the biomed pathway is Principles of Biomed Honors. So yes, that is a bio or an honors course. If you look at the course catalog, our course catalog and course list will have either honors or AP listed in the title if the course is an honors or an AP course. The next question is, my daughter has chosen biomed as the pathway. Can she choose elective Intro to Health Science as another subject, or does it repeat the biomed pathway? No, she can use Principles of Biomed Honors. That would be the first level in the pathway. So she's a freshman. That would be what she's taking in replace of biology. So Principles of Biomed would be her life science. And then if she wants to take Intro to Health Science as one of her electives, she's able to do that.
The next question is my question is about MHHS sports team. Does it cover GPA college credits if that extends to school sports team for one semester? So this was just answered. Students who play sports do not get GPA or college credit for playing sports for Mountain House High School.
We will be on for another 3 minutes, and then we will be turning off the live. And this is a recorded question and answer session. So if you want to review to see if your question was addressed or if you missed it for any reason, the same link will take you, the same link you used to join the session will take you to the recorded session as well.
So the next question we have is flex class same as honors and APs, or can my child take any additional electives for flex? If yes, where can that be selected in Aries? So when they open their course request, so flex is not the same as pretty much any class. Flex is a non-attendance period, so that's kind of like a free period for them if they do any dual enrollment and need to catch up on that work. If they have work from classes they need to catch up on, they can go to designated areas on campus during that time and catch up on work, check their emails, whatever that they need to do to basically prepare themselves and balance out their homework, and any extra things that they're doing can be done during that time. So it's not the same as honors, APs, or even our regular courses, but your student can sign up for an elective if they want to. So they can request other electives. They can request elective in a flex, and that would just be under their Aries account, the Mountain House High School section, and then they would go to course request entry under classes and just request it as where they request any other class.
The next question is, can students change their pathway in sophomore year? Yes, they can change their pathway in sophomore year. Next question, do my child need teacher recommendation to be in honors classes, math, biology, English? No, they just need to meet the prerequisite for that course. My question earlier was not clear, so asking again, can my child choose intro to engineering pathway as her elective as well, digital arts as one of her language and arts course? Digital arts won't be considered her pathway elective alternative. Am I correct? So if they want to take digital arts just to fulfill the 1 year of visual and performing arts, they can do that. Or if they do want to choose the digital arts as a pathway, they can do the engineering pathway and digital arts pathway at the same time. and they're both elective courses. Next question. For 10th graders, fall 2026, science is mandatory course. So do you suggest alternate for this as well, like chemistry honors, alternate chemistry, or physics, or if physics or chemistry honors as primary selection is good enough? So if the student wants chemistry honors, and if they don't get chemistry honors, they're placed into regular standard chemistry, then no, they don't have to choose a alternative or an alternate. But if they would rather have physics in the universe instead or something else, then yes, I would choose an alternate. Okay, so thank you guys for joining us for Coffee with the Counselor this month for course selection. We are going to close out. If your student has any questions, they can always feel free to email their counselor, and you guys will have until January 28th to make any changes. So that's all. Thank you guys for coming. Oh, and we will have success sessions for students. I think today might be our last course request support for students. So we will be meeting with your students for success.